come on deck in time to see the early morning mist below the mountains of Lebanon. We are at Beirut, the chief seaport of Syria. Our own ship's boats carry us ashore and land us at the customs jetty. Syria no longer belongs to Turkey, but is under the mandate of France. Thus the law in the new Turkey forbidding the wearing of fezzes has not deprived these Turkish boatmen of their most picturesque article of dress. Beirut is the starting point of our 2-hour motor drive over the mountains of Lebanon to visit Damascus, said to be the oldest city in the world. Our first impression is one of a modern city, but this illusion soon disappears as we step 10 paces away from the Sarai Square. Among the first unusual characters that catch our eye is the vendor of sweet water. There are many of these watermen about, carrying large glass jars of colored liquid and clapping together the little brass bowls that advertise their presence. This man is cooking titbits of goat over a charcoal fire. They are hardly sanitary, but no doubt to the Syrians very delicious. In this country where it seldom rains, everything is sold in the open. Here is a cart full of dates, for flies as well as for humans, and a donkey load of cheap soap. Syrian oranges are delicious, and they are sold very cheaply, 3 or 4 cents for a dozen large ones. As you notice, they are sold by weight, not by piece. These headdresses remind us of biblical characters. A new prayer rug from Persia. This is a novel way to display a rug. He is an auctioneer, and he calls for bids as he walks through the streets with a rug over his shoulders. Damascus is at the end of the caravan routes from Persia and Mesopotamia. All day long, trains of camels, bearing wares from the east, enter the city and trail through the winding streets. We are amazed at some of the burdens we see on the backs of men and beasts alike. We stop to look in at a Damascene bakery. The oven is of clay, rounded and hollow. In the bottom, the baker puts some straw, which burns with a clean fire, and heats the inside of the clay. He then takes a small piece of dough, and by twirling it, stretches it to the size of an enormous pancake. This he places on a round pillow, which he puts into the oven. A slight pat against the inside makes the dough adhere to the walls, and the pillow is removed. The bread, when baked, is placed upon the counter, ready for a purchaser. Nearby is a bread merchant who sells not only sacks of flat bread, but many other kinds as well. High above some of the streets, arched metal roofs have been built. One of these streets is familiar to us all. This is the biblical street called Straight, where it is recorded Saul, after 3 days of blindness, received again his sight at the hands of Ananias. The faithful remove their shoes upon entering a mosque and bathe their feet at the fountains within the court before praying. In the early evening, men gather to sit before the coffee houses and smoke. In this small kitchen, the coffee is brewed. On a shelf over the stove are kept the pipes which men rent. The tobacco is in the top of the pipe and is kept burning with a piece of charcoal. The smoke passes through the water and is cooled before being taken into the mouth. We must leave these Damascans to whom time means little and hurry on to our next country, Palestine.